We like to welcome in our first guest here, and these two ladies represent their respective tribes. Secretary of the Omaha tribe, Cheyenne Robinson, as well as Victoria Kitcheyan from the Winnebago tribe. She serves as our chairperson. Now, we have an issue that has recently made kind of the headlines, and that came out. And for those that don't know anything about it, can you tell us what the issue is? Yep, go ahead and use that guy there.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you to the Winnebago Big Voice for having us on. And thank you to Cheyenne for joining. And it's really important that the tribes be standing together on this. As you know, Thurston County has the two reservations, Omaha Nation and the Winnebago tribe, and we make up the majority population of Thurston County, and we're really proud of that.
Yeah.
And part of the issue here is that every 10 years, the counties and states and such, they have to redistrict their voting maps due to a census.
Okay.
And so based on the 2020 census, Thurston County was their time to redistrict their voting districts for voting district maps. And through that process, we learned that through our friends from NARF, the Native American Rights Fund, we learned that Thurston County was proposing maps that would be harmful to the tribes. So thankful to them, they reached out to the tribal councils, and the tribal councils were very open to having that discussion and learning about what's going on in our own county, what's going on in our backyard that we don't even know about. And we learned that not only had the county been resistant to providing the maps to the NARF team to even let us know what's going on, we found that when we went to Pender to have discussion and object to these maps, there wasn't really a willingness to hear the tribes. Well, I shouldn't say that. They were very respectful and they listened, but they weren't open to our maps.
Right.
And the maps that Thurston County Board of Supervisors proposed, as well as the clerk who manages this part, they were disproportionate to Native Americans, and they would not provide an effective voting district for Native Americans. And so what that means is that they've drawn the maps that would dilute our voice.
Wow.
And they've drawn the maps that would reduce our opportunity to elect our candidate of choice. And so drawing the maps the way they have, it puts them in a better position and sort of washes out our votes, although we have more numbers.
Right.
So that's the big message, is that not only did the tribes remain united and vocal that this did not work for the Native Americans in Thurston County, but that we have a right to be included in some of these discussions, and that we have to find better tools or pathways to even have an awareness. From there, the tribe had testimony in their meeting, and they passed a map and said that the time had passed and they wouldn't be able to accommodate the tribes.
Goodness.
And then about a week later, they had a special meeting and they rescinded the maps they passed and passed even worse maps.
Really?
And so that was really a shock to the tribes that we would go further in some type of disproportionate voting, maps. I don't know the word to use.
Yeah.
So that's the gist of it. They took action, official action, and we feel harmed. And the actions they took meet the components of violations of the Voting Rights Act and the Constitution. And so that's the gist of it.
Wow. And I know that the Omaha tribe has, I would say maybe 5-6 years ago, went against like Thurston County over some boundary lines because of the taxes and whatnot. Go ahead and pull that map up there, but go ahead and give us your introduction and kind of what you know about the issue.
Yeah, of course. Hi, good morning. Cheyenne Robinson, Secretary of the Omaha Tribe. Thank you guys for having myself on with the opportunity to represent the tribe. Also sit alongside our neighbors, the Winnebago Tribe, the Chairwoman Kitcheyan. My theory on this is it's so unfortunate that we represent 60% of majority in the county.
Right.
Out of the 7 districts, because there are 7 districts, what they're proposing is 3, when we all know that we should have the majority in that district and in the 7 districts. So what they adopted was the intent to discriminate against Native Americans, specifically the Winnebago tribe and the Omaha tribe, denying our voters equal opportunity to elect candidates of our choice, and then secondly, denied us the opportunity to having controlling majority in the board of supervisors in Thurston County.
And that's huge because they're making decisions, county dollars, whether it be roads, whether it be kind of some of the things that happen in the, let's see here, the utilities as far as police, courts, everything. And we don't get a voice in that based on kind of some of the things that the voting districts maps drawn out. So I'm just trying to understand that.
I have the map.
Okay, you want to kind of see what the map. We also have a quote from you in the press release here, Cheyenne. I'm going to read this quote and then maybe you can elaborate on it. But Secretary Robinson said, Native Americans now make up the majority of voting age population in Thurston County. Instead of following the law to provide 4 of the 7 districts with effective Native American voter majorities, the board rigged the district map in a way to reduce Native American representation into the minority. Can you explain why you said that?
Yeah, of course. I thought Thurston County Board of Supervisors rigged the redistricting map by just straight up disregarding the tribe's testimonies, their proposed map, didn't give notice of the special meeting where they adopted a new map.
Wow.
And then also, as I mentioned earlier, adopting a map that wasn't in compliance with Federal Voting Rights Act. And then just the simple foundation of what they value is what wasn't for the best interest of Thurston County as a whole, and that it included the tribes.
Wow, that's very interesting. We also have a quote from Vice Chair of the Winnebago Tribe, Brian Chamberlain. Not only did the Thurston County Board of Supervisors reject the VRA complaint map shared by the Winnebago Tribe and the Omaha Tribe, but once the tribes made their concerns known, the board decided to make its bad map even worse by reducing the number of Native Americans in District 3 and 5. This is a slap in the face to the tribes and tribal members in the county and shows another example of discrimination on the part of the county against tribal members. Yeah, there's a kind of a history there and very interesting. So we filed a lawsuit and it is known. What is the best case scenario for us when the lawsuits are brought to the courts?
Best case scenario is that there's a judgment that requires the County Board of Supervisors to rescind those maps and adopt maps that would be effective in 4 districts for the native voters and provide them an opportunity to elect a candidate of choice. That would be the best outcome.
Right. And so do you know how these play out? Like I know that maybe I seen an article, I think from the Pender Times, and it mentioned that Thurston County's attorney didn't get to read the complaint yet. And so she didn't have no comment. How does it, do you know how it plays out from here? Do they get a chance to respond? Can they just meet tomorrow and decide to?
I would defer to the legal team on the next steps, but the tribes have filed the complaint and we see it in the media now. And so we were happy to come on this show to let our tribal members know that we are aware of this. We are standing in front of this issue and trying to ensure that this doesn't happen over the next several decades as well.
Right, definitely. I got a question. Is there anything that we can do right now? Like you kind of making mention, I think we're back on the air.
Yes, we are.
Okay, back on the air, but you kind of, I don't know if you got to hear it, but Chairwoman mentioned our young generation has to take notice because if we didn't notice, then it would have been that way, right? Mm-hmm. So is there anything that we can do?
We could just start making it our norm to vote. You know, we might not think that these elections and these decisions impact us, but we just have to start making it something that we do every year, every election, and be aware of who these candidates are. And so there's so much social media now. I think that we're really lucky to have those outlets and make it accessible. We have the internet, and somebody could just Google them and say, "Mike, you know, what do they stand for? What are they? Are they in line with my beliefs? Are they in line with the tribe's beliefs?"
Right.
And so that's really important that the candidates that we elect have an appreciation and respect for the tribes. I think that's the base.
Definitely. Our forefathers, our ancestors fought for us so that we could vote. we weren't recognized as citizens
Right.
there for a while. And we're still fighting that because of you two and because of the councils and our legal team. We want to send appreciation to Big Fire Law as well as the Native American Rights Fund. They do have a website. I'm going to see if you can bring that website up if you folks want to. I got a call from the communications director of the Native American Rights Fund, and she said, if you guys want to keep updated on where this is taking place and what's the next steps and things like that, they do have it on their website, and there it is. It's Native American Rights Fund. Go ahead and read that website address.
Yeah, so I have up here narf.org.
Yep. And they also are talking about, if you go to kind of like the news area, that's where it says discrimination in Thurston County against the tribes. And they kind of have a blog mentioning about some of the things that is going to be taking place and whatnot. So make sure you check them out. We really appreciate them and everything that they do. There's that article. Go ahead and click on that guy. Tribes and voters sue Nebraska County to secure equal representation. And you can read all about it. Is there anything else that you guys want to make mention?
I think in regarding to the last question, of course, get out and vote. Also, be aware of what our current board of supervisors are currently doing, the decisions that they're making. If you want to attempt to provide contribution to what we're doing right now, provide a testimony to their board of supervisors, voice your opinion, maybe even ask them to make that decision for themselves without us going to trial again at wasting resources on both ends. But of course, bottom line is we're going to have our voice heard.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to welcome those that are going to be joining us on Facebook and YouTube. We had a computer glitch.
Yeah, we did. It just kind of was beyond my control. It froze up. It went black and it did
Now we're back
reboot.
on.
Yes, we're back
Okay,
on.
so we kind of left off showing that map and whatnot, and then we talked about some of the quotes that Chairwoman and Secretary Robinson provided to that lawsuit and as well as that press release that and if we have an opportunity, get involved. I know that there's we have our tribal elections, but these for voting, make sure you register. And we have a lot of important events happening. I know that there was a big wave of when Warhorse needed to get passed in Nebraska. There was a kind of a big interest from our younger generation. But traditionally, I have to say this, that Native Americans don't vote. They don't turn out. And that's, I don't know, maybe because of there's different issues, getting a ride down to the voting polls or whatnot. But this last time we had a low voter turnout. Seems like during presidential elections, we kind of have a higher turnout a little bit because maybe that's what they're interested in. But those midterm elections and everything, seems like there's a small voting. So we encourage everybody here on behalf of the Big Voice to get out there, register to vote, get out and vote, and pay attention to some of those issues.
Right.
There's a lot of issues.
Because we don't want anybody to say Indians don't vote.
Right.
And we don't want that to be some type of stigma attached to our tribal members, because they do in fact vote, and the presence in Thurston County demonstrates that.
Right.
Shoot, a few years ago, one thing was during Obama, remember we were the only blue county and all in Nebraska. So that shows,
Right.
when we stand up and we stand together, it matters, and it's shown, to even
Right.
be mentioned on the news, to be the only blue county. We're proud of that.
For sure. Anything else that you think we captured the history? Do you kind of get a better understanding, Bethany? I know before we went on air, I said, Bethany, did you see the press release? She just browsed it.
Yeah, I skimmed through it.
Yeah, she didn't kind of really get the concept of it. But now, is there any questions that you think should be?
No, I mean, I just wanted to send my praise to both of you for making this an important fight that needs to be fought, and it is really unfortunate that we are still fighting for our right to vote, but it is a great thing, and I commend both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you guys want to make mention?
Just thank you to the tribal members that are listening today. Thank you to all those around in the tri-state area that support the tribes and feel that all U.S. citizens should have equal protection to vote and engage in their civic duties.
When here's a thought that we're going to help you guys out. I think this is very important that two tribes in Thurston County, we have 4 tribes that are represented in Nebraska as a whole: Ponca tribe, Santee tribe, the Omaha tribe, and the Winnebago tribe. But when we win, and we're gonna win, right? We should have a celebration.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we got to
Because-
hold each other up.
Yeah.
The Nebraska tribes got to
Right.
stick together, and we have to hold each other up.
We'll look forward to that. And if you guys need a DJ, I know one.
Right.
Well, thank you guys. I know you got some more important issues that are going to be taking place later today, so we'll let you get back to work. And thank you for coming up and informing our listeners.
Thank you.
Chairwoman Kitcheyan from the Winnebago Tribe and Secretary Robinson from the Omaha Tribe here discussing that lawsuit. Very interesting. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of things that we shed light and appreciate them taking time out of their busy day to come up here and inform our listeners.